Hi, and welcome to the next in our series of practical simulator sessions. Now, one of the subjects that I want to cover in these sessions is that of improving striking. I think it's something that's really important that everybody can work on, and it's something that a simulator is ideal to use, as you can basically practice as much as you like. Now, there are obviously a lot of different points when it comes to striking that can be addressed. But the first of these is actually listening and the ability to hear your own bell. Now, if you can't hear your own bell, then your striking will never be as good as it could be, for the simple reason that by default you have to be relying on visual cues. So what I want to do in this session is quickly look at the options that we have to do a few exercises using a simulator to improve our listening and therefore our striking. So if we look at the screen here, I've currently got a virtual belfry set up with 6 bells, and I'm selected as number 4. Now, when you first start to look at listening and hearing your own bell, 6 bells can be too many. It can make things a bit muddled. So what we're going to do is we're going to reduce the number of bells using the control here from 6 down to 4, and we'll choose the back 4 for this, and we're going to move our selected bell to number 3. Now, the other thing that obviously you have to think about is the speed that the bells are actually ringing. Now, the default speed that I've got here shown on the left hand side is 2 hours 50 minutes, and that's the peal speed. With 4 bells, that is actually quite slow. With 6 bells, it's a reasonable speed for ringing. So we can actually take it down slower by using the slower button, and we can actually make it a 3 hour, or even further if you want to start off extremely slowly. So that's 3 hours 20. As I say, I've selected bell number 3. Now, if we just start listening to it in rounds, because we're only worried about rounds at this point. We're bell number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to be ringing 3, 4. We're going to be ringing bell number 3. And as you can see, we also have left the ringer on the screen, so we've still got a little bit of the visual cues that we're used to. Now, as you move on, you can go to the ropes view and you can turn off the show only your own rope when ringing. So now when we ring, so now our ringer actually disappears. But when you're looking at listening, one of the other really useful options is to set our bell to full volume, and that's done in the settings menu. There's a checkbox. So now when we ring, our bell will be much louder than the others, and it will allow our brain to assimilate the fact of when to expect our bell to ring, because as part of this the bell will tend to strike, I always say, as your hands pass your nose going vertically. So on the hand stroke it's at that point, back stroke that point. So we're trying to get that relationship, our brain actually tuned into that. So now if we ring with our louder bell, you can see now that or hear now that our bell is much louder, and it will help to reinforce that connection. So now we've started, you can ring that for as long as you wish. You can then start taking things faster. Just take it down once you're comfortable by maybe 10 minutes. And you can keep building that up. Now, if you want to physically see where you are, Virtual Belfry has the blue line function, which actually shows against your line. So we're ringing bell number 3. The blue line is where we should be, and the gold line is where we actually struck. So we were a little bit late on 2, and then we were early on 2. And there is the red and blue marks, which will expand. They're like a graph, so they'll expand out the further out you are. So you can use that as a reference as well. And you can also go over into the history, and it will give you a standard deviation and a mean value that you can also use if you want to put numbers on it. So as you increase and get better, as you practice more and get better, you can get back to normal ringing speeds. So let's go to 3 hours now. And then, of course, once you get to that point, then you can add more bells in. So we can go back to ringing 6 bells, but 6 bells maybe at a slower speed. So if we take the peal speed down to 3, let's go for 330. Again, we're still ringing bell number 3. So you can see it is actually quite difficult ringing at these slower speeds, but if you can master that and you can get faster, you can move the speeds up. So if we go back to what we would call a normal speed, which would be about 250, probably back more into my comfort zone. And then you start doing things like covering up some of the ropes using a piece of paper, or just in fact looking away and ringing purely by listening. And as you go on, you practice more, you'll find it becomes easier and easier and easier. And using the blue line display, you can actually see whether you're improving or not, as the case may be. Now, some very good ringers can often struggle when ringing very slowly. It's something that we've done in the past in our towers, to ring as slowly as we possibly can. And of course, you can do that on a simulator. You can make it as slow or as quick as you want. So that's just a few of the things you can do to assist you with listening to get your striking improved. And yeah, I hope that's been a little bit of assistance to you. Feel free to comment below, and of course don't forget to subscribe so you get notification of our next videos, and I look forward to seeing you soon.